I truly have no Jimmy Butler slander to utter. I think it was an incredibly impressive performance.
But what did you... No. Don't lie to the people. What did you say?
There is no but and. Jimmy Butler's performance was incredible. Here's what frustrates me, Joy. Joy is our resident.
Oh, he didn't want to tell the world what he said.
Here's what frustrates me. If you are capable of hurdling a high bar, then don't lower the bar so that when you hurdle it, it appears what you did was more masterful than what you're capable of doing.
Oh, Lord.
Like, Jimmy Butler can ball. But if he can ball, Shady, I just would like to see him ball more often.
True story, right?
Tell me the story.
You guys love to kill, you, and sometimes him, love to kill KD for the team he plays on.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy Butler, he's the guy you like. He plays for the Heat. They don't have a lot of all-stars, right? There's no superstars. He had 56 points last game, right?
Went crazy.
Do you know how much the second player had the highest?
Was it 14, Bam?
15 points. What are we talking about? He carried them boys.
He did.
Not only did he carry them on offense, when the Greek Freak was balling, he started making some plays. He started guarding him. Lopez started going off. Jimmy said, oh, yeah, I got it.
Sure.
He started guarding him.
Yep.
So not only did he ball on offense, he balled on defense. Anytime you see a real beast on the court, you know they're a dog when they come to the press conference in a white tee or a black tee. You see him at the press conference? Mm-hmm. Yo, get this boy respect.
I did.
You argue all day about how Giannis should be an MVP, or like 2 weeks ago. Am I tripping?
No, you're not.
Oh, he should be MVP. All this. And then it came there, right? They're down with 2-1. Oh, Giannis is coming back. Everybody's excited. All the gamblers, including myself, we bet on the Bucks. And Jimmy said, not in my house.
That's true.
I didn't see no MVP last night. None of that. Only MVP I seen was for the Heat, number 22. Talk about it.
Talk about it.
Joy, does Jimmy Butler get enough respect?
Jimmy MF Butler does not get enough respect. No. And I don't know why everyone always gets surprised when the Heat do something like this. And particularly when Jimmy Butler does something like this. Y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot, but I will remind you.
Remind us, please.
Because you want to see it more often. Jimmy Butler, Game 5 of the NBA Finals. It's a very, very notorious sports picture. It gets memed a lot, right? Where he's leaning over, he's all exhausted. He played all but 48 seconds of that game.
That's crazy.
They won 111-108.
Come on, man.
35 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. That guy. This is what he does. There's a reason why they asked him, why doesn't he like the nickname Playoff Jimmy? Because he's humble. He's a humble superstar. Just goes out there, he's a dog, and gets it done. You know what he did that?
Superstar loosely.
We like a little couple numbers.
Superstar a little liberally, aren't we here?
Are we?
Because
Because he scored 56 points. That's the fourth most all time in the playoffs.
Sure.
Right, last night. Against who, Shady? The #1 rated defense over the last 5 years.
Number 1 seed, too, right?
This year's second place defensive player of the year, Brook Lopez. 4-time all-defensive player, Drew Holiday. Former defensive player of the year, 5-time all-defense, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You got his name right, too.
Right? He did all that. And my thing about the game last night is, stop him.
They couldn't.
Stop him.
Why Giannis ain't guarding?
They couldn't.
Do something. Do something.
They couldn't.
Because the next highest scorer scored 15 points.
They couldn't
And it
stop
was a
him.
struggling 15, too,
But
Jordan.
you can't let one player do that to you and then turn around and talk to me about how this is not a serious situation for the Bucks to be in.
Answer this question.
The reason that it was a couple things. I have a couple thoughts.
Well, go ahead.
My permeating thought is very simple. Joy, it's I'm not going to get that hype for what Jimmy did because I need to see Jimmy see it through. Here's what I mean. Jimmy, to me,
What did he do in 2020?
He lost in 2020.
He did it against the Bucks.
Jimmy, to
and then
me,
went all the way to Game 6 by himself against the Lakers in the finals.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Slick. Please correct me if I am wrong. Jimmy is a poor man's, a village man's Kawhi Leonard. He coasts during the regular season, but at least Kawhi coasts during the regular season and wins at the end. 2 finals MVPs, 2 different teams. I love what Jimmy Butler did. But let's not act like we haven't seen phenomenal playoff performances before. Jamal Murray 2020, Spidey Mitchell 2020. It doesn't mean anything until it means everything. So to go up 3-1, it is impressive. To have 56 points, it is impressive. But don't lower the bar and then jump over the bar and then expect me to be happy that you jumped over a bar that you lowered.
If Jimmy Butler plays like this every day or every game in the regular season, he'll be wiped out for the playoffs. And you can admit to that.
Giannis does.
No, he don't. Giannis got all-stars around him. We just talked about Lopez potentially might win
Did Bam Adebayo go to an All-Star game? Did Bam Adebayo go to an All-Star game, Slick?
Yes, he has.
Y'all not really comparing the Bucks roster to the Heat roster, particularly right now with the players that are out.
We can't do that. Is that what we're
Let's
doing?
have a serious conversation.
No, it's not in that cup.
We got excited.
It's not even in the cup.
We got
Answer her
excited
question.
for a second, but we got to have a serious conversation.
Are you comparing that roster?
No.
Okay.
Here's what I'm comparing.
Okay.
What I am comparing is this. Jimmy Butler, I believe, has like 11, he's played 700 career games, 750. He has 34 35-point games.
Okay.
But in the playoffs,
Right.
He's only played 101 games, and he got 12. So my thought is this. If he's capable of it, then let me see it.
Why wouldn't you play the best when it matters?
Because it's not when it matters. Like, I need
the
to see...
playoffs is when it matters.
Not game 4 matters most. Do it in an elimination game. Please.
You notice he's not letting me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Slick.
Get him, Slick.
Go ahead, Slick.
Get him, Slick.
Does Jimmy get enough respect, Slick?
Hell no. Go ahead, Slick.
Yes, he gets enough respect.
Oh, here we go.
But
Okay.
you're not giving him enough respect for what he did last night.
I think it was impressive.
This is the best part.
It was impressive.
Shady. You know what?
It was impressive.
No,
It was impressive.
Shady, you know what the best part was?
What?
He outplayed Acho's MVP.
He did with the broken
And
back.
then he said, but I'm not even the MVP.
I know, he said Embiid.
Joel Embiid
That hurt my heart.
is actually-
That hurt my heart.
Yeah.
In the post-game
And
presser.
we miss him
in the
in Philly.
post-game presser.
We
he
miss
said
Jimmy
that.
in Philly, too.
Like, that was so disrespectful, Slick. I'm glad you heard it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you heard it. Go ahead, Slick.
So this is, I'll explain why the regular season, he's not the same Jimmy Butler, why there is a Jimmy Buckets, a Jimmy playoff version, is because in the regular season, the Zions and the John Morants and the Anthony Edwards and the freakish athletes can eat. You can go out, especially young, freakish athletes. You can go out there night after night.
Back-to-backs, yeah.
You can get it done. You get to the playoffs, and it becomes more of a basketball IQ thing.
yeah,
Jimmy
very
Butler is not a freak athlete. He's 6'7", he's got good size. He's not jumping over anybody. He's not going anybody. It's his basketball IQ and his fundamentals, and that comes to the fore in the postseason. Now, you want to complain about him not having won championships. Miami Heat have, since he's been there, have not been one of the most talented teams. They have been one of the most overachieving teams.
Yes.
Largely because of what Jimmy Buckets has done, not only with his game, but with his leadership.
Yeah,
That's
true.
where I'm
Very
completely
true.
off with the comparison with Kawhi. There's similarities in their games, but not in their leadership.
Sure.
He makes the Heat believe that they can be greater than they are.
Sure.
And that's where I have to give him those kudos, but I think that people, by and large, recognize that. Do they
do.
not?
I recognize
that he
it.
has that impact.
I am recognizing the impact. Here's my thing, and I think we've all been in situations before. Y'all know when you know somebody's attractive, but you're not attracted to them? Like, you can acknowledge somebody is attractive, but I'm just not attracted to them.
Yeah.
I can acknowledge the performance was impressive. I can undeniably acknowledge that. It just wasn't all that impressive to me. And the reason it wasn't all that impressive to me is because, Joy, going up 3-1 is cute, but as Slick just recently showed us, going up 3-1 is not going up 4-1. It's not ending it. What Jimmy Butler did in Game 5, 2020 NBA Finals, it was nice, but it's not like it ended something. Slick, when you showed me this full screen, it was interesting. Because 3-1 playoff comebacks, when you look at all the teams that came back, the Nuggets, I believe they have an MVP on their roster formerly. The Cavs, 2016, I believe they had an MVP on their roster formerly. The Warriors, 2016, I believe they had an MVP on their roster. The Rockets, I believe they had an MVP on their roster.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler is facing a team with an MVP on their roster.
Jimmy
And Giannis,
Butler's
Ugo
performance-
Antetokounmpo, Joy Taylor.
Jimmy Butler's performance, has insignificant as you are calling it, made the odds of them coming back and winning this series nearly impossible. They got a 4.8% chance to come back.
The Bucks do.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what that 56-point performance did. So, yes, it was impactful because now, because of that win, they have a 4.8% chance of coming back and winning this series. So that graphic looks nice until you do the math on that graphic,
you go.
which illustrates 4.8%.
It's
I'm
not
not great at
yeah.
math. I am a doctor. I'm not great at math. That's not very good.
Not good odds.
You're saying there's a chance. May the odds ever be in your favor. Good luck to you, whatever you want to say. But it's 4.8%.
And we got to look at the fact that who would imagine that the Bucks would be down 3-1?
Yeah.
Most people thought the Bucks would easily go to the finals.
Of course.
Yeah.
Easily,
Of
right?
course.
I'm pretty sure we all did.
Oh,
Okay,
fine.
so that's one thing.
I got 'em in the
like,
finals.
When I look at the Miami Heat roster, first of all, they have the most undrafted players ever playing.
Yep.
That's crazy, right? That's one. And another thing is, on that roster, how many of them are the guys on the starters of the starting five for the Heat were starting the other team?
I would say Bam and Jimmy.
Just Jimmy. I think Bam's good.
Bam's an all-star.
Man.
Bam's getting exposed.
He is,
man.
Sure. But whenever
but there's no way you can be all-star when they want you to shoot. They want the ball in his hands, the defense.
Fair.
Okay? So put more respect on that. Like, Jimmy is carrying these guys.
Here's my thought, though, 2-5.
Like, carrying them bad.
Here's my only thought is,
man.
like, if you aren't going to be a regular season dominant performer, which Jimmy Butler is all but acknowledged, like, look, he plays for the playoffs, then I'm just of the notion, Joy, that, like, I want to see him win it all, only because in 5 years, what are we going to be talking about? We're not going to be talking about this performance. We don't talk about Jamal Murray's performance in 2020 when I believe he had more points over 3 games than even Michael Jordan did in a 3-game stretch. We don't talk about Spidey Mitchell's performance in 2020. And if y'all go back to your history of 2020, those were incredible playoff performances, but they meant nothing because you did not win. KD had 49, 17, Slick, and was it 10 in Game 5 versus the Bucks in 2021? But it didn't. We don't still talk about it because Giannis won that series and won the chip.
We still talk about those performances when we mention those players. We absolutely do. And when you're talking about what Jimmy Butler is doing, you have to keep that same energy for all these other players. What Jimmy Butler is doing is what people complain that KD doesn't do. I don't agree with that he should have to do that. Drag a team of 7 undrafted players up 3-1 against the Bucks.
I ain't doing that.
Like, I'm not doing that either, but I'm saying, like, we can contextualize what Jimmy Butler is doing, and by the way, not doing just right now, like, has been doing with the Heat, as Slick pointed out.
Right. And you put him with that Denver team.
Yes.
They won a championship.
Easily.
No disrespect to Murray, but they won a championship.
Lady, Jimmy Butler has played on teams, but he's been all over the league. So
Jimmy Butler was in Game 6 in the NBA Finals against the Lakers in 2020, and if you say anything about it, then don't say LeBron has 4 chips. Don't say it. Either it was a championship or he wasn't. But you know who wasn't there? All those other teams.
Okay, but over the last 4 years,
talk to me.
He's taken an undermanned Heat team to the finals in the bubble.
Check.
All right. Went to the playoffs, got bounced. Went to the conference finals last year. And now has the #1 seed with your MVP.
The AC.
On the road.
AC.
Right? So, to suggest what he's done with who he is just you can't say it's not impressive.
It is.
And I don't want to hold up that he hasn't won a ring as the
I have a question. It's like you are the authoritative voice of basketball, really, I would say, on the network. So what my simple point is, you have to tell me in 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10 years, what does it all mean if Jimmy Butler does not win a ring? That's all I'm saying. It is incredibly impressive. I will say it in different languages if you all would like.
That's fair.
I am simply saying, if he does not win it all, what are we going to say? That's the only thing I'm saying.
We're going to recognize him as a player that elevated other players, that had all-time postseason performances, which is when those performances matter. We actually talk down on players that only play well during the regular season.
True.
So
if
you got to have a ring,
then you have to put credit on what he's doing and consider what he's playing with.
So here's my only issue, and I had an issue when the play-by-play announcer, I believe it was Van Gundy, was it Stan Van Gundy? Stan Van Gundy yesterday said this was one of the most incredible performances, or the most incredible performance we've ever seen by a Miami Heat player in the playoff. Reggie Miller said that, excuse me. And I'm thinking to myself, and Joy, you may have been at the game. I don't remember if it was at the Garden or if it was in the AAA, whatever y'all call it out there in Miami. AAA?
It's something different now, but it was the American
But back then it was AAA.
Yeah.
LeBron James had 45, 15, and 5, down 3-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals with the life on the line to get to the NBA Finals after losing to the Mavericks prior. If you want to show me something when it matters, to me, that matters. So, Shady, this game was impressive, but I just don't like how we have this revisionist history to try to act like Jimmy Butler's one of the greatest Heat ever. I'm like, do y'all not remember what D-Wade did in 06?
Nobody's forgetting about it.
They were saying that. They said it last night.
Dwayne Wade.
They said it last night, Jordan.
Okay.
They said it last night.
Reggie said it. Okay, first of all, it wasn't they. Okay, nobody's forgetting about Alonzo Mourning. Nobody's forgetting about Dwayne Wade. Nobody's forgetting about LeBron James. But what Jimmy Butler did last night was astonishing, considering who he was doing it against.
That's my thing right there. Who they did it against?
Giannis, Drew, Brooke, whatever he wanted to do. You have one player to stop. Just stop Jimmy. Just surround Jimmy. Nobody else is scoring. Just don't let him do anything. And he imposed his will on that team. And he scored 56 points. It's the fourth most all time.
Yeah.
Contextually, it's an all-time great playoff performance. No matter how you measure it or who it was against or what it meant. And by the way, again, what it meant was now the Bucks have a 4.8% chance of moving on from this series.
I'm also not killing Jimmy because Reggie Miller said something stupid.
I don't even think it was
something stupid, though.
What
you mean? That performance.
It might have been slightly hyperbolic when you
One thing Joy said
consider.
that you got to think about is like who he did it against.
Yeah.
Nobody gave this team a shot. Or with the Heat, back in the LeBron era, the LeBron and Wade and Bosh, every game they expected to win. Nobody expected the Heat to win right now with Jimmy Butler and the rest of them guys.
Look, to Acho's point, he has to close the deal. I don't know that we will think that much of this.
But the game ain't for like 2 more days.
Back and win the series.
So we talking about right now.
But here's the other part. Giannis is not Giannis right now.
Oh, here
right?
we go.
Why?
No. I'm
He's
saying.
hurt.
He's playing though.
You said who he did it against. Talk your talk.
Sports, you can't be.
Then he should be on the bench. Then he should be on the bench. If you
hurt, don't play. Slick, you know that rule.
Don't play.
Slick, if you hurt, don't play.
All I'm saying is,
Go get you a doctor or something like that.
We have one.
Some ice cream.
Yeah,
If you hurt, don't
all
play.
I'm saying is we're putting them up as the #1 seed, as the best team in the league,
That's right.
et cetera, which they proved to be during the regular season. Do I think that this Bucks team that I'm seeing play right now is that Bucks team?
Slick.
Oh my
No.
God.
So if we're going to say it's who they did it against, then let's take it in the context.
That Bucks team is not better. Hold on.
Now the Bucks are weak.
Is that
No,
Bucks team?
I'm not saying
Everybody's hurt.
Is that Bucks team?
They're lucky to drag themselves onto the court.
Is that Bucks team better? Even when Giannis hurt or whatever you're saying, that Bucks team is still better than the Heat.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
agree?
1,000%.
So what we talk? They got 4 All-Stars. What we talking about right now? Yo, I hate this, what y'all doing right now. And I hate that America has to
Giving
listen
it
to this.
context?
That's crazy. Like, come on. If you out there playing, you out there playing. You the MVP, so they say. Yet you got 4 All-Stars you playing with. Jimmy Butler and undrafted guys. Happy to be on the team. Come on.
At least admit this.
Come on, no.
Jimmy Butler has to steal the deal. Can you at least give me that?
I mean,
Or what?
Or it really meant nothing. Or it was a great performance that meant nothing.
They got 2 more days before they play again. We talking about right now. If the game was last night, we talking about it today.
And I enjoyed it.
And I don't know the future. I think what Joey said, a 4% chance to win, so we don't know that, right? Okay, my thing is this. We got to wait 2 more days before they play again.
Yes, sir.
But right now, it looked great. It looked great last night. Stop hating, please. And I can't believe you hating. Like, I know he hates a lot, but you...
I am disappointed in you.
Yo, you must relate to Dave.
How can
That's
I have
it,
two guys on opposite sides both disagreeing with me? How does that?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.